Hi everyone, welcome to ETI 1110 Introduction to Quality Assurance. I'm Professor Young, and today we are going to explore differing perspectives on quality. Now, at first glance, the word quality might seem simple, like good quality means good product, right? But in reality, quality means very different things, depends on who you ask. An engineer, a marketing manager, a human resource director will all give you complete different answers. And that's what makes this topic so interesting and important for engineering technology. Here's the agenda for today. We'll begin with the fundamental question, what is quality? And break it down into both product and services dimensions. Then we'll explore how different functions in a company, such as engineering, operations, marketing, and HR, each see quality differently. We'll dive into the three spheres of quality: quality control, quality assurance, and quality management. After that, we'll look at the value-added perspective, which challenges us to think of quality not as a cost, but as an investment. Finally, we'll wrap up things with a summary that ties those perspectives together. So what is quality? When we think about product quality, Harvard Business School professor David Gavin identified 8 different dimensions of product quality. Let's go through with them with real-world example you will appreciate. Performance. This is about core function. For example, if you buy a power drill, how many holes can it drill per charge? In cars, it might be fuel efficiency or acceleration speed. In laptop, it is how fast the processor can run. Second, features. These are the actuals that go beyond the basics. For example, a drill with a built-in light or a car with heated seats. Features often determine why customers choose one product over another, even when performance is similar. And the third one is reliability. Will the product work every time it's supposed to? Imagine an elevator in a building. It has to work day after day without fail. For you, reliability might mean your laptop doesn't crash right before your assignment is due. And the fourth one is performance. Does the product meet established specification and standard? For example, a 10 millimeter bolt should be exactly 10 millimeter, not 9.8 or 10.2. In engineering, conformance often determines whether parts fit together correctly in assembly. So that's very important. Here are the other 4. Durability. How long does a product last? Think about the difference between a $10 pair of pliers that bend after a few uses versus a $40 professional pair that lasts for years. Serviceability. This is about repair and maintenance. If your car breaks down, how easy is it to fix? Can the mechanic quickly find the part, or does it take weeks to order? Products designed with serviceability in mind reduce downtime. Aesthetics. This is about the look, feel, sound, or even the smell of a product. Why do many students prefer Apple products? It's not just about performance. It's a sleek design, the smooth interface, and the overall feel. Perceived quality. This one is fascinating. It's about reputation. For example, you might buy Milwaukee tools or Caterpillar equipment, not because you personally test every product, but because the brand has a reputation for toughness. Customers often pay more for this perception. Products are not the only things with quality. Services have their own dimensions. The first one is tangibles, the physical appearance of facilities, equipment, and people. Imagine walking into a repair shop. If it's dirty, disorganized, and the staff look unprofessional, you will instantly question the quality, even before the service starts. Reliability. Can the service provider deliver what they promise every time? For example, when Amazon says your package will arrive Tuesday, does it? If your internet provider promises 99% uptime, do they actually deliver? Responsiveness. This is a willingness to help customers quickly. Imagine calling tech support. If they put you on hold for 45 minutes, that's poor responsiveness. But if they pick up right away and solve your problem, that's high quality. Assurance. This is about trust and confidence. When you take your car to a mechanic, do you believe they know what they're doing? Do they explain the repair clearly? Or do they just say, don't worry about it? Assurance is about competence and courtesy. Empathy. Finally, empathy is about individualized attention. For example, a professor who knows students by name and help them when they struggle. That's the good professor. Or a hospital nurse who takes time to reassure a nervous patient. Empathy transforms a routine service into a memorable experience. So that's the dimension for the services. Now here's the challenge. Everyone in the company defines quality differently. Engineers might say, quality is when design meets all technical specification. Operations might say, quality means efficiency and consistency in production. Marketing might say, quality is what consumers perceive to be. HR might say, quality is about having skilled, motivated people who can produce good results. So that's why communication is critical. Without it, departments end up working at cross purposes. Strategic quality planning brings everyone together, aligning with the organization's mission, vision, and values. It's kind of like the sports team. If everyone chasing their own idea of the game, chaos follows. But if everyone knows the playbook, the team moves together and wins. Look at the different functional perspective. The first one is engineering perspective. From engineer perspective, quality is deeply technical. Concurrent engineering. This means design the product and the manufacturing process at the same time. For example, when designing a new smartphone, engineer must consider not just how it works, but also how can it be mass-produced efficiently. Reliability. This is huge. Will the product last under real-world conditions? For example, aerospace engineers run life cycle tests on airplane components to make sure they can withstand thousands of takeoffs and landings without failure. Statistical process control. This is about monitoring the process to catch variation early. Imagine making precision gears. Statistical process control ensures the gears stay within tolerance so they mesh perfectly. Engineers also distinguish between common cost variation, the normal expected variation in the process, and the special cost variation, something unusual like the machine malfunction. The key is knowing which is which so you can respond appropriately. Operations and marketing also see quality differently. Operations is all about efficiency and consistency. Think about assembly line at Toyota. Every step must be repeatable and standardized so the final product comes out the same every time. Any waste, whether time, material, or effort, is a threat to quality. Marketing is about perception. Customers don't buy quality they can see or experience. For example, Apple markets the iPhone as a premium not just because it's a spec, but because customers perceive it as high quality. Marketing team also rely heavily on CRM, which stands for the customer relationship management, to track satisfaction and build loyalty. Think about when you get a follow-up email after purchase. That's marketing reinforces the perception of quality. Human-centered perspective to quality. They focus on employee empowerment, giving workers the authority to make decisions. For example, at Toyota, if a worker spots a defect, they can stop the entire assembly line until the issue is resolved. That's a powerful example of quality through empowerment. HR also ensure proper job analysis and organizational design so people can understand their roles and work effectively together. Training and evaluation are also essential. For instance, think about the aviation mechanics. They undergo constant training to keep their skills sharp. Without it, the risk of quality issue skyrockets. So HR perspective is simple. Skilled, engaged people create quality products and services. There are three spheres of quality. Quality control means catching defects after production, like inspecting a batch of parts. Quality assurance, building quality into the process itself. For example, designing a machine that automatically rejects defective items. Quality management is about the big picture, setting the organization's quality policies, goals, and continuous improvement strategies. We can think of this like building a house. Quality control is the inspector checking the wires after it's done. Quality assurance is the electrician following code during construction stage. Quality management is the architect and the project manager ensuring the whole system meets expectations. Three spheres aren't isolated, they work together. QC verifies the product after it's built. QA prevents defects from happening in the first place. And QM sets the strategy and the vision for improvement. Now let's look at quality as an investment. Improving quality can often increase sales and building customer loyalty. For example, when Honda improved the reliability of its cars in the 1980s, sales in the United States skyrocketed. Customers trust the brand, and that reputation still exists today. But there is also the law of diminishing returns. For example, imagine polishing a pipe wrench for hours until it shines like a mirror. Does that add real value? Probably not. The cost of actual polishing outweighs the benefit because the customer only cares about the pipe wrench is strong and functional. So the lesson here is invest in quality where it matters most to the customer. Quality is not the same everywhere. In Japan, small cars are often valued for fuel efficiency and precision, while in the United States, bigger cars and trucks are popular because customers value power and space. Cultural preferences, history, and context shape what quality means. That's why contingency theory says there's no single best way to manage quality. It depends on where you are and who your customers are. Let's wrap up the big takeaways. Quality has many dimensions. It's not just about performance. Services and products both have their own quality measures. Different departments view quality differently, and alignment is essential. The three spheres, quality control, quality assurance, and quality management, work together to strengthen the competitiveness. And finally, quality is an investment. Done right, it pays off in reputation, sales, and long-term success. And so remember, quality is not a single department's job. It's a mindset, a culture, and a team effort across the entire organization.